The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
What's happening, everybody? How's everyone doing today? Dan, Mark, Dennis, good to see you. Good to see you. I'm assuming you guys can hear me. Give me a yes. Somebody give me a yes in the question box. Frank says God. He probably meant good. Perfect. Excellent. Alejandro's here. Dan's here. Simon, good to see you. Dave Masters, all the way here from the UK. Excellent. Larry, how you doing? How you doing? Give it just a couple of seconds here. We'll let everybody pile in, and this is going to be real short and sweet and to the point. You guys all know why we're here. We're not here to sell you anything. We're here to talk about shortcode access for use with our software in 3 new countries. That's very exciting. Canada, the UK, and Australia. Australia, everybody. How many Australians on the call? How many Australians on the call right now? I can see 1, 2, 3 that I'm aware of. 4. Yeah, cool. Excellent. Excellent. So for those of you that have maybe purchased one of our other products, and that's why you got this email. Maybe you purchased our Geo Coupon Commander as an FSO. Maybe you purchased the WP Scratch and Save WSO. Maybe you've been with me since the very beginning over the last couple of years. You guys have indubitably, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but you've heard about Wrecking Ball SMS. You know that that's our flagship product, and that's what we do is text message marketing. We do it very well. We have a very tight-knit community of users that are out there just succeeding like mad with it. Everybody knows that. Up until recently, we've been integrated with Twilio and nobody but Twilio, and that allows for long code access in Canada, in the UK, and I live in the US, but if Canada and the UK are anything like the US, the shortcode is just better. It performs better, the deliverability is better, it commands more respect, it commands a better price because it just seems more official. That's what you see. You don't see text to a long code on the TV or on the radio. So a lot of people understand that, and it can command a higher price. You guys in the UK and Canada haven't had access to a shortcode that can do all of the powerful stuff that Wrecking Ball can. You can, obviously, like I said, operate Wrecking Ball on long codes. And you guys in Australia have been with us for a long time and just been waiting and waiting and waiting. So we started integration with Burst SMS, and then Burst sent out an email saying, I think it's July 1st, they're raising their prices. Well, that kind of nudged us over the edge because we know we can get better pricing in Australia on the shortcode as long as everybody is interested. So that's what we're here to talk about today is crossing the pond. Shortcodes for the UK, Canada, and Australia that will communicate with our software. So we're talking about new vanity international shortcodes, like I said, for Canada, the UK, and Australia. They'll be integrated with Wrecking Ball SMS, Project Loyalty, and the WordPress SMS plugin that's in process right now. Okay? So those of you that like a simple solution, the WordPress SMS plugin is Chad Wyatt's SMS plugin. We bought it from him. We bought the rights to it, and we're converting it over for shortcode use. So for those of you looking for a simple solution on an overseas shortcode, this is going to be it for you, okay? Approval time to get these new shortcodes. We're being told 2 months maximum in Canada and Australia with a target of 5 to 6 weeks and 2 to 4 weeks in the UK. Okay, this is what we're being told. Um, the U.S., I've looked at everything we're going to need to go through as far as approval process, and the U.S. is the strictest of the four that we're talking about here. So U.S. approval took us 14 weeks to get through. However, we're being told that that is absolutely no way going to happen on these three countries, and that 2 months max is what's going to be in front of us. So what we're looking to do is have all of the required development, which is pretty minimal, complete by the approval date, and we've negotiated absolutely the best rates available. Okay, we've been working very, very hard on this for quite some time, and we've negotiated some great rates. So there's going to be time to answer any and all questions here at the end of the call, guys, but I want to blow through the meat of this pretty quick. So here's the deal, okay? It's in the numbers. In order to pull the trigger on it, we need to know how many people are committed. We've had a lot of people, when we sent out a survey, hit us up in the support desk and say, yep, I would love that, okay? Well, this is what we need as a minimum. We need 50 people from each country. Now, this is with us eating 50% of the costs, okay? So if we get 100 people from Canada, if we get 100 people from the UK, if we get 100 people from Australia, we'll be able to drop this monthly pricing down to the same as what the U.S. are. But we need 50 people, okay? And we're eating, like I said, about 35% of the cost here, all right? So I need 50 people. I need a 90-day commitment from you guys, okay? It's going to be $37 a month. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take your money to make sure that you're committed today, but I don't want to get to a situation where only one person from Canada, or better, worse, I guess, 20 people from Canada sign up and I have to refund all of this money, right? Because that's not going to be good for anybody's PayPal account. So what we're doing is we're putting a $1 trial. Okay, that's what we're going to give you today, a $1 trial. That's 2 weeks long. I should have put that in here. Let me, as a matter of fact, let me edit this because this is going to be in a replay. $1 US 14-day trial. Okay, so go back to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to sign people up for 14 days. If we get enough subscriptions, then you'll be billed for that first 90 days. Okay, if we don't get enough subscriptions, this way we can just cancel this before we bill you, and we won't have to refund that $111. So hopefully we get enough people. Now, obviously, if we only get 30 from Canada, let's say, I'm just singling you Canadians out, but let's say 30 people from Canada, because we'll mail the replay out, and we think we're going to be just fine. We think we'll be able to sign up, 100 people from the UK and Canada, and enough people from Australia. But if we, for some reason, would only get 30 people from Canada, okay, before we would just pull the plug on this, we will contact all of you and say, hey, we only got 30 people. We need it to be $45 a month until we get some more people on. So we'll let you know where everything's at all along the way, okay? So July 8th is the day. So if you have any other people that you know of in your country that may be interested in Wrecking Ball and Project Loyalty on the new shortcode, because it's going to be pretty exclusive. You guys are going to be able to get the damn keywords you want. It's going to be just like our U.S. shortcodes. So that's a very, very cool thing. You'll kind of have it all to yourselves. Let them know about it. After confirmed moving forward, so in other words, after we know we're pulling the trigger, you're going to be emailed another link which will start your payment at the 120-day mark. Okay? Let's see. I don't have that on here. Here's pricing. I'll get to your questions at the end of the call. SMS credits, okay? We're going to have the variable packages just like we do in the U.S., so you'll be paying in the UK 2.5 cents to 6 cents in pounds. I don't know what the conversion is, but 2.5 cents to 6 cents. In Canada, same thing, but this is U.S. dollars, so 2.5 cents to 6 cents U.S. And in Australia, 4 cents to 8 cents in euros. Now, the only time you ever pay 6 cents or 8 cents is if you buy a 100 credit package. You know, if you just buy a 100 credit package because you just a play around package, right? That's the way we work it, because we have to charge a minimum of $5. Otherwise, by the time PayPal and everybody takes their cut, we just can't even sell it, you know. So, but that's the only time you pay these super high, not super high because it's still pretty competitive, but the only time you pay the high end of the scale. Okay. Keywords. Keywords will be $2 a month per keyword, just like the U.S. However, anybody that signs up as a founding international member, which is all you guys, basically gets 30 keywords per month for free. Okay, and I'd be more than happy to just give unlimited keywords per month, but somebody will get in there and just start hoarding all the good keywords because there's no cap on it. So we'll give you 30. If you got a legitimate need for more than 30 and you're a founding member, we're going to know about it. Hit us in support. I'll take care of you. My understanding, Dan says Oz dollars or euros. My understanding is that they're the same thing, but I guess we'd be talking Aussie dollars. Okay, if I'm wrong about that and that needs confirmation, please let me know. Okay? So this is where you go to sign up, and then we'll take any questions that you guys may have. You go over to wreckingballmobile.com/international-shortcode. And maybe, Eric, if you could plug these in the chat, that would be fantastic. So wreckingballmobile.com/international-shortcode. And there's 3 buttons on that page. Let me show it to you. Why isn't this working? Hang on. Let me show it to you. There we go. Now it's working. So basically what we just talked about, there's 3 buttons. If you're in the UK, you're going to click this one. You're in Canada, you're going to click this one. You click Australia, or you're in Australia, you're going to click this one. We'll keep you informed, like I said, all the way along the way. Now you're going to get you're going to get an email from us letting you know that everything's kosher, and when we pull the trigger on it, there will be a new Woot text site available to you guys on a country-specific basis. So again, you go right over to what happened. Hang on. Let me go back to this. All right. Let me go full screen on this. There we go. So you go to wreckingballmobile.com/international-shortcodes. If you have any questions that don't get answered today, you can always find us at support.wreckingballmobile.com. If you're ready to pull the trigger on Wrecking Ball SMS, you can get that at wreckingballmobile.com/v6-is-here. And we have a 2-week $7 trial on Wrecking Ball SMS special setup over there right now. So if you've been waiting to pull the trigger on Wrecking Ball, this is where you get it. If you've heard about Project Loyalty and would like more information on that, you can get that at thursdaythinktank.com/referred-by-a-friend, because Project Loyalty is exclusive to the Thursday Think Tank unless you want to pay retail prices. All right, so let me take some questions. Let's see. What's the short code for Canada? We do not know what the short codes will be. The way it will work is we will say go, and they will give us a list to pick from. We will obviously pick the most symmetrical, best flowing, best sounding ones that we have available. If it's a situation where There's several good ones to pick from. We'll put them up for a vote. But that's how that'll work. Allison says, will these shortcodes work in the same installation as my current install, which runs the U.S. shortcode? Yes, Allison. Absolutely. If you belong to the U.S. and Canada, you'll be able to, choose where you're marketing to. So yeah, you don't need a separate installation. Steve-O says $37. Is this the Wrecking Ball subscription? No, sir. This is for Woot text, really, for international shortcodes. The Wrecking Ball SMS system is available at wreckingballmobile.com/v6-is-here. And that is separate, okay? The Wrecking Ball system currently works with Twilio, so works in the US, UK, and Canada on long codes. And then we have a US shortcode of 69696. That's an additional $27 a month. So the $37 a month is for international shortcode access. So if you wanted international shortcode access in addition to Wrecking Ball, you would need to sign up for both of those, sir. Would this replace any need to use Twilio? Yes. Yes, in these countries it would. How much could you mark up charges to clients for offering short codes instead of long codes? Well, very frankly, anybody doing any long code marketing in Canada on the available platforms right now are paying what, 7.5 cents a piece? So very frankly, I think you can go to a dime, no sweat, the difference being 3 cents. Right? Because a properly structured SMS campaign for any business, the ROI on a dime is still phenomenal. It's through the roof. Will Canada's shortcodes work in the U.S.? As far as I know, no, they will not. I mean, no, they won't. But I mean, if you're in a border town or something like that, I don't know how that would work. Let's see. Will this work for GCC? We haven't talked about adding the international shortcodes into GCC. Let us get back to you on that one. Let me get back to you on that one before I answer that. Could you put in a support ticket, please, for Rock? That would be awesome. Who to use Wrecking Ball V6 in Australia? I don't understand that question. Hannah says my kid just lent me $1, so I'm in. How to use Wrecking Ball version 6 in Australia? Well, really what we would need here, sir, is we need to get you signed up as an Australian at wreckingballmobile.com/international-shortcodes. Okay? That's going to show us that you're in Australia and you want to do this thing. Now, I want you to keep in mind that there's an additional $67 a month for the Wrecking Ball software itself. So on a fresh sign-up today, I'm not trying to hide anything from anybody, with the Wrecking Ball and Australia's shortcode, that's $104 a month. Now, if you're not familiar with the Wrecking Ball SMS system, I would suggest you go over to wreckingballmobile.com/v6-is-here on the screen and in the chat box and watch the replay webinar that's on that page right now, and you'll see why it's the best SMS system on the planet. Dave says you don't have to read this out loud, but I'm just going to blank some out because it's a great question. I intend to use the business name for the keywords so they won't be prime words like blank. Will there be a limit to the numbers of this type of keywords? If we see, just like with the U.S., if we see branding happening, for instance, in the U.S., if somebody's using actively the keyword Pizza Hut, because Pizza Hut's a big national franchise here in the U.S., we're gonna inquire. We're gonna check that out. You know, we have to reserve the right to ban and disapprove any keywords at any time, and all of those terms are available on the site that will be created right now. You could visit the WootText site in the U.S. You know what I mean? So if we see brand, we're not going to have a problem with branding, but we're going to make sure that you're not infringing on some branding. Yeah, Dan, if you're already locked in on Wrecking Ball at an earlier price, like we've always said from the very beginning, you're grandfathered in forever at the price point you purchased at, so that won't be going up at all. Yeah, Dave, I suspect with what you're talking about, it's not an issue. If there's any other questions that pertain to how this would work and international shortcodes and things of that matter, now is the time. If you'd like to jump on the call and talk because you don't like to type, you're like me, feel free to do that. Put your hand up in the air or let me know in the question box, and we'll take questions here. Otherwise, we'll wrap it up and get the replay out. I know there's a bunch of people waiting for the replay on this because we did it at the middle of the day. So, Denota, is Tropo integrated with Wrecking Ball? Tropo's not integrated with Wrecking Ball. It's integrated with the Project Loyalty and a couple other pieces of software that we have. It's much, much more difficult to integrate into the Wrecking Ball. And unfortunately, when we got involved with Tropo, we thought that you'd be able to get an Australian phone number. And you can't. The way it works is you can send to Australia phone numbers with Tropo, but you're using a Canadian phone number, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a big deal to integrate with Wrecking Ball. We wanted to do it right instead. Plus, we're going to be cheaper on the shortcode here, I think, than Tropo is in Australia anyway. Bola says, so recap, as an international user purchasing the shortcodes, I would need to purchase both the Wrecking Ball and the WootText both. Yes. Now, if you're, unless you're looking to use the shortcode with the Project Loyalty system, and if you're not sure what that is, I think there's a video on this Thursday Think Tank site. So you would need one or the other. We will be giving, but it's not ready yet, but it should be ready about the same time as the shortcode. We will be giving all international signups today while this drive is going on for international. We will be giving you the WordPress plugin that will allow you to do keyword campaigns and some other things. It's just not completely, it doesn't have all the campaign functionality and list building and client management and branding and all that stuff that you have going on in the full Wrecking Ball system. But it is it's still a great way to build an SMS list, and it gets the job done. So we'll be giving you all of that as well. And I should have put that on a slide, but I did not. Okay? So that would actually get you done, and as your business grows, you could buy Wrecking Ball and step up. Do you have a comparison list of bundle pricing for the shortcode credits? No, Mark, I don't have that generated yet. But if you go over to if you go into your Wrecking Ball installation, go to the US, you can kind of see the volume breakdown, and we'll be holding that same theme. So let's see. Let's see, what's the cost for a company to set up their own shortcode so I can compare the value that they're getting? I'm in the UK and can roll this out. You mean like if I'm a business and I just want to go get my own shortcode and then find a piece of software to work with it? It's very expensive. It's going to cost you a couple grand to get it set up first of all, and then you're looking at $1,000 a month plus usage. And the approval process, if you're not a text company, would be really, really tough to get through, to be honest with you. This is a great question. When using a shared shortcode, who controls the terms and conditions and privacy policy? Will we be able to customize the help reply when end users reply help? No, you won't. We control the terms and conditions and the help. Now we're looking at a way to, obviously you can set up a keyword using the Wrecking Ball system. You don't have to own a keyword to use it for a reply to a question. All right, so you could have somebody reply info and be taken to your custom help message. But in order to get approval on a shared shortcode, we have to be in control of the terms and conditions and the help. Okay, so they're readily available to you guys, and they're pretty common and industry standard. Let's see. Yeah, Jeff, got it. Hit me on Skype, and we'll try and work out a good time to talk. And if you've got a ticket in, I'll jump over and look at that. Doesn't it get complicated for different businesses using the same shortcode? Doesn't it affect their branding when the customer gets texts from other companies? It doesn't happen. It very, very rarely happens. If you're legitimately in a position to reliably put the same person on multiple businesses' lists, then you should be putting them on your own deals directory list, because you've got pull that very few people have, sir. The real world is it just doesn't happen. However, our system does sort those lists, and if the technical details I'm not going to get into now, but it puts a lease on an incoming phone number. It's very robust for multi-businesses, and it's never going to come up. And if it does, you should be running a different model, because you have way more access to a certain group of people than most people do. How do keywords work with SMS? The keyword is what you text in. So the short code is 77777. The keyword would be the word win. So when you hear somebody say text win to 77777, win is a keyword. And because it's a shared shortcode, there's only one person that can have the keyword win. So that's where you guys have an advantage, A, being founding members, and B, the way we do things at Wrecking Ball is to keep things very exclusive, so there won't be any big battles over keywords. TJ says, do you have a replay of a previous webinar about Wrecking Ball so people have no clue what SMS is about, are keen to get into this? Yeah. You go to wreckingballmobile.com/v6-is-here. That webinar was very chaotic. We were having a thunderstorm. My truck was getting annihilated. I got thrown off the call. Then I called in on my phone. Eric and Ed were there. It was probably pretty comical to listen to. However, it does a very good job of explaining the system. Also, anybody that buys Wrecking Ball, I don't know if we've even got it up on that page, but we've got our 30-day challenge training available to all new Wrecking Ball signups, all new Wrecking Ball members, and that's a phenomenal, intensive 30 days how to be in business as an SMS provider. Paulette says, will you be holding an auction for the best keywords on each of the systems? No, we will not, Paulette. We will not. We did that because we were bracing for some things that just didn't happen. So there will be no auction format on the international sites, and we're looking at getting rid of the auction format on WootText to simplify the whole thing as well. Steve says, is Wrecking Ball available to be purchased for a one-time payment, or we only offer it as a monthly fee? We do not offer a one-time payment anymore. The reality is the system's constantly evolving. Our support is second to none. We have a dedicated development team. Wrecking Ball is not a product that we have built and sold it out and forgot about it. So just like Aweber or Infusionsoft or any other intensive system that you may own, we have to have a monthly fee attached to it. Ours is extremely reasonable when compared across the market. Let's see. That's a great question, Henish says. On a short code, how does setting up an IVR or phone to subscribe function work? That still uses the long code. You cannot do any voice from the short code. So those of you in the UK and Canada would still have voice availability via the long code. So let's see. John says, do you typically charge a monthly fee as well as cost per text? You know, every successful marketer that I know using SMS, unless it's a big involved deal, is flat rating services based on, based on an estimated average with an opportunity to adjust later. Robert says, in a smaller town or city, you're probably going to have many businesses on the same short code. Again, Robert, in a smaller city with many businesses on the same short code, man, your model's wrong. You need to have them on a daily deals type of setup, a directory site, because if you've got an audience that can literally be on 10 businesses' lists, then you should own that town, period, is my opinion. But with that said, I still don't think that there's a problem here for you. You know, they're going to know that I'm getting this, this text from this business if it's properly written. Can you append a word to the keyword, for example? A variable with a keyword. Yes, absolutely, Catherine. Yeah, so if my car was taken, you could absolutely have my car 123 or my car ABC or my car 4 or whatever you wanted to do. That's still a keyword. Where to find out about the SMS WP plugin? Nowhere. It's still in the works. Yeah, do a Google search for SMS WordPress, and you'll see it. But don't buy it, because the version that's available at SMS WordPress will not work with the shortcode ever. Eric, can you put in the chat box a link to the spot of the Woot Text site that has the pricing matrix that I think you can grab from inside of the admin or inside of the loyalty? There it is. Boom. Mark, check the chat box. Are we limited to our countries only? If you signed up today over at International Shortcodes, so if you're in Canada and you sign up for the Canadian shortcode, you're limited to Canada on that. However, if you signed up for the U.S. shortcode as well, you could work both the U.S. and Canada from one Wrecking Ball installation. Do unused credits roll over each month like the U.S. version? Yes, absolutely. Not ignoring, been on a call with a customer. Very cool. Just good to know you're here, sir. Good to know you're here, Jay. I hope this is exciting for you guys. It's exciting for us. It's something we wanted to do for a very long time. Those of you that are that received this email, you're going to see us remailing this email a lot. a lot. This replay is going to go out a lot. You're probably going to see it 2-3 times because there's a lot of people on our list that aren't here today, and we need to make sure that we reach everybody because it's for everybody's benefit. So looks like we got all the questions handled, so I'm going to wrap it up. We'll get this replay posted on the exact same page, so if you need to watch it again, if you missed part of it, this means you, Mr. Poole. Go to wreckingballmobile.com/international-shortcodes, and we'll get this replay posted in the next couple of hours. So if you missed the replay, you can run right over there. Thanks for being with us, and you guys can always go to support.wreckingballmobile.com and ask us any questions that may have been missed here today. We'll talk to all of you very, very soon. Have a great day, everybody.